Hello, traders and future self. So I got kicked in the dick several times today, and it's my own fault, and that's all right. Let's go over it. This this guy is up here because I forgot that just this image helps me retain my conviction in a trade, helps me sit through the chop that is so frequently encountered when trading listed stocks. This is from All Day Faders page. He just put it up with a watch list one time, and I love 300, and this image really inspires me, and so I've had it up through the last 2 hours I've been in this trade, and it was very comforting. So let me go through it. I came into the day with this as my watch list. See what we got. We got CRIS, of course, where my premiums have melted to nothing, and I could probably get out for $5 per contract, which is 2 contracts, which would save me $10, 10 of 60. I didn't play this well, and when the trade is completed, for good or for ill, I will do a whole video just on this trade. But you know, it likes to come down and tease me at support, just being a big old meanie. And sometimes when it pushes, I think about grabbing 750 puts, because I think that I could squeeze some profit out of it. But I also know that I'm not performing my best on this, which is to be expected because it is I think my third options trade ever. So I'm willing to pay $60 to learn from the experience. I've got 2 days for this to drop, and it's got 1, 2, 3. I wish I could get a crosshair with fidelity. It's got like 4 support levels that I need it to fall through. Actually, I don't even need that. Probably if it just fell through the 7 and the 6, I would be okay. Or at least break even. But like I said, I understand what I've done wrong, and I'll go over that trade when it's done. So these were all gapping up. Apple recently broke out. I don't honestly know or care why. I just saw that they broke out. I expected a correction. ACB and TLRY are both weed plays, and they were gapping up. Obviously, ACB made its run during market hours yesterday. I was not convinced that it was the end of the run, despite it being at resistance. And I also didn't want to hold it overnight and have like an overnight wager. TLRY gapped up during extended hours, made a mad push, and then fell back down. TLRY's 1 year chart is not that promising. So you can see why I was a bit enthusiastic about my position, which I'll go over in a minute. And then Mara and Riot were gapping up because of Bitcoin, which hit all new highs today. Go Bitcoin. So it was a 52 for Mara, and geez, it was a 52 for Riot as well. But they go based on well, it's kind of interesting because they're a company, so they make their mistakes and everything, and they're prone to traders and the emotions of traders and everything, but they're also based on the price of Bitcoin. So it's kind of it's almost like trading a derivative because it's based on a commodity, but it's also heavily influenced by traders who, for whatever reason, aren't just trading the commodity. And then I'm trading options, so I'm trading a derivative of a derivative. So it gets kind of wacky, but let's talk about it. Hang on, I have to move this in such a way that if I move it the wrong way or if I just minimize it, when it comes back up, it doesn't go to the right proportions, and then I have to close the window, and I can't save it because of the proportions. Anyway, AACB. As you could see when we looked at my watch list, everything I was looking at, with the exception of the crypto plays, was a gap and crap. So everything dumped at the bell. I didn't really. I felt kind of robbed of the opportunity to get in, and so with ACB, I wound up getting in late. I think I got in. Oh boy, I'm sorry. Let me bring this up. Bring up my account so I can look at when I did the stuff. Transaction history. Ah, jeez. That was from yesterday. ACB. Can I make this? Computer, enhance. Okay. So I bought, this doesn't have the time on it. Come on, man. All right. So why doesn't it have the time? All right, let me pause this recording and figure this stuff out. All right, figured it out. Okay, so at 9:43, so probably right around here, yeah, at 9:43, I bought an ACB put. It was probably into that push, and I don't know, I was convinced that it was going to go lower. I bought a $10 put, so it was already in the money, or it was just out of the money. And then the stock fell down, the price of the put went up, and I got out. I have in my notes here that I got in late and I didn't play my plan, so I abandoned my position for a better setup. So I think what I mean is it dropped without me. I did not wait for this push, and I got out because I felt that Mara was a better setup for me, and boy was I wrong. All right, so I got in at 9:53, then it looks like I added, and I added again at 10:07. So 9:53 would be right about here. Yeah, that makes sense. I probably got into this push thinking that it was going to gap, or it was going to have a reversal. And so I got into this push, and then I added into this push. And I don't think I tried to take profits in here. I think I remained convicted. It was a 750 put, so it was out of the money. It was a little bit cheaper. And then into this push, I added again. Let me see. At 10:07. So I was averaging down. Yeah, 10:07. I was averaging down 10:07. Oh, that's a different one. This was a really messy trade, so please forgive me for being a little bit confused, but I do want to go over it in detail because it was a bad trade and I need to know why. So I got in twice at 9:53. Once for 35 and once for 30. So I must have been buying into this push. Oh, I remember now. Okay. 9:53. I bought one here and then I bought it on the ask because I wanted to make sure I was in the trade. And then I bought another one on the bid and I just put the order in and I let it sit there, thinking that Mara would do exactly this. Just have bitty spikes that I would get filled into and then it would pull back. And it did pull back, but not far enough. So then my next put I bought at 1150. And I was definitely averaging down at that point. I got it in here. But before that, see, I knew that it was pushing up. I saw that this was this kind of like mini squeeze was happening. And I didn't know how far it would go. So I grabbed a call. I grabbed a call to hedge against the squeeze. And the squeeze kind of pushed up. I was feeling good about my thesis, and so I averaged down on my calls. So I got my average price down to 33, I want to say. Yeah, 33. I opened put at 11:01, so I added in here. That's right, I added in here. I bought the call in here because I noticed that this lower high was happening. Also, I noticed that this trend was really strong, and on the half hour, it looked like it was setting up for a squeeze. You can see the triangle. And so I can't tell you why I didn't exit my position. I didn't even wait for the scream. I didn't wait for the screaming to stop. I got in too early, possibly because I felt as though I had missed out on all those other trades. So when I saw this setting up, you know, overextended, testing resistance, I got short into resistance without waiting for the scream. And if you don't wait for the screaming to stop, you will be the one screaming. So I could not, for the life of me, get filled. Let's see where I finally ripped off the Band-Aid. Sell calls right there, completed at 11:50. So I sat through the screaming, and I sold at the top. So the first thing that I did is I was trying to, that's right, okay. I was trying to leave here. I wanted out of the whole position because I knew I was bent. I didn't have a bias anymore. I didn't know if I should be short or if I should be long. I had no idea what the stock was going to do, and I knew it. I knew that I was in a bad position, and I knew that I was bent out of shape about it. So in here, I sold my hedge. I sold my call option for a small gain, and I swear to the market, I tried to sell out right here, out of my puts, and I would have been just about break even. But my offer didn't get taken. I didn't sell out on the bid. I saw that it was trending down, and I was thinking someone would pick up my offer. I don't feel like it was unreasonable, but they did not. They did not pick it up, and it went back up, and I said, I'm ripping off this Band-Aid, and I did. I think I lost 45 bucks on the trade, which is not the end of the world, right? I mean, at all by any means, but it did suck, and I was on tilt, and then of course it pulled back, right? I basically exited my short position at high of day, but I don't feel. It was annoying. It was frustrating. It was frustrating to be right at the wrong time. But I would rather sell at high of day, you know, I would rather sell at high of day 10 out of 10 times than be in the squeeze. And like if this had gone to 10, I mean, sure, I lost 35 bucks, but I saved 35 bucks if this had gotten to 10, and that's not unheard of. So I think that as a practicing bear who's serious about my craft, it's important to have a stop, and it's important to rip off the Band-Aid. And it sucks that I did it right before the stock verified my thesis, but it's important to make a habit of ripping off the Band-Aid, and that is something that I learned from CRIS. Right? I mean, CRIS could be Mara right now. Whoa, that's beautiful. I like that. You know, I could just be sitting in Mara for the next 3 days waiting for my premiums to evaporate, but I didn't. I got out at high day. I only lost half of my investment and not all of it, so there's nothing to cry about there. Did I play TLRY twice today? All right, let's have a look. TLRY. Oh God, I fucking love myself sometimes. Okay, TLRY says volume was fading in on pop. I got in at 41, got out at 46. And this says, that was my most recent. Here it is. 10:07. So this was actually while I was in the Mara kerfuffle. I think it looks like I got in right 10:07. Wow, that was actually a pretty good. That was a nice clean shot. I must have got in right here, cow, and then got out right around here. Um, yeah, got in on a push. Let's see, when did I sell my position? TLRY, 10:10. Yeah, so I was just in and out on that. And I only made $5, but that's okay. I mean, that's $5. And I think I just didn't want to focus on this trade while I was wrestling with Mara. That's probably what happened. But I do want to talk about my TLRY trade. So, oh, Apple. I played Apple too. I didn't even write it down. I was so mad. Okay, so Apple gapped up, pulled back, and this was a no-brainer, and I messed it up because I was messing with Mara, and so right out of the gate, it comes down and reverses, right? So it gaps up and then it fades and it reverses, but it hits resistance. That is an easy shot. That right there. And I think that if I had been paying attention, I could have taken it. So when I finally got out of Mara, I'm all messed up, and I come over to Apple, and it was right here at the time. And I said, okay, if this gets up to resistance, then I'm going to hit it. I'm going to grab a put. And so lo and behold, it gets. I wish I could make this nicer. I don't know. Okay. So lo and behold, it gets up to here. Yeah, that's better. Gets back up to resistance. It's struggling at 27.80. The open was, sorry, 37. What? 27.40. So this was the open. And it was struggling in here. It managed to reclaim the open. And then, why did I think this was so important? Oh, because it was the high a day. So it's testing high a day, and so I grab a put right in here, and I say, all right, my risk is high of day. And lo and behold, high of day breaks. I sell my put for a very small loss. Let's see. I got it. So I got the put at 93, and I sold it for 88. So I lost $5 on that. And that's okay. You know, I stopped out where I said that I would. I followed the plan. I ripped off the Band-Aid, and it sucks because, you know, as you can see, it came right back down again. I got faked out, and I mean, even the volume is like kind of confirming this candle, or maybe not, because the volume is a lot bigger than the spread. So maybe that could have indicated to me, you know, this is a fake out, and then I could have taken profits somewhere in here. So anyway, I see that it's holding support here, and so I grab a call. I'm like, all right, apparently Apple is going back to the moon, and it holds support, pushes up, comes back down, cracks support, and I get out. I stopped out right there. So that really sucked. I was on tilt. I was very mad. I had to actually close my laptop because I went like full on addict mode, like, oh, what am I gonna trade next? How am I gonna make this back? And I knew that I was not about to make a good decision. And so I shut down my laptop. I just closed it and I walked away. I did some breathing exercises. I chilled out and I said, okay, self, you get one more shot today, self, and you better make it a good one because that's all you're getting. And I poked around, I looked at different stocks, I checked on my watch list, and I just kind of waited. And that's when TLRY started screaming at me again. I watched TLRY come up to 10 and I thought about grabbing some puts then, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know that that was going to be the top today. I just knew that it was resistance. And so I waited for it to prove that that it was done. So volume forecast. Stocks that exceed their average volume forecast of my samples that exceeded their average volume forecast, 57% close above the open. So TLRY had a better than a coin flip chance of closing above the open, which was 990. So 57% chance is pretty good, but 47% is pretty good too, especially on a stock that ran like 40% overnight. This spike is, in my opinion, ridiculous. And probably in some other short sellers' opinions as well. As you can see, the squeeze continued. And so I felt that 47% chance was pretty good odds. And when it failed to reclaim the open here on this spike, I bought my put. And then I held, and this was just so beautiful. It was the most relaxing trade because I had a plan, right? 10 break, I get out. That was my stop. I told myself I was not holding overnight, and I love that. And my target was 925 or the bell, whichever came first. And so I grabbed my puts, and the stock did try my patience one time, and then proceeded to fade for the rest of the afternoon. And it was so great to watch. I loved the level 2 experience. I loved thinking about what was happening in the stock, why it was making these moves. I liked trying to analyze the candles and see what was going on. Like, all this buying couldn't push this candle up. All this buying couldn't push this candle up. Same here. So those are called anomalies. I wasn't watching too closely in here because I wasn't in yet, but just thinking like, what is the stock trying to tell me? and it was really nice. I mostly sat across the room and just watched the level 2 and the fading action. I had this beautiful Heikinashi chart. Let me see if I can. Yes, sweet. This is where I got in, and then there was one green candle threatening the trend the whole way down. So it was leisurely and comfortable, and I want to do it again sometime. I wish all of my trades were like that. That was amazing. So now I don't know how to get this out of the way, but I'm kind of done with my story. I hope that it was informative to you in your trading. I hope that I can look back and remember today fondly. I am 30 bucks in the red today, which is no shameful thing. All things considered, 30 bucks for a day full of lessons is well worth it. So now that I'm stuck with an E-Trade window in front of my stuff and I've told my story and I'm glad that I didn't hold TLRY overnight, I shall bid you adieu, adieu, adieu.